Some stories begin with a scream, others begin with silence. Some of the most haunting cases don't begin with a crime scene, they begin with a feeling that something isn't right, a lingering question that refuses to go away. In 2023, what started as concern soon became an investigation that drew attention across the UK. Behind the closed doors of a small flat in Lincoln, a brutal dark truth was hidden.
One husband, one wife.
Both true crime fans.
A different case every episode.
One terrifying story at a time.
I'm Carla.
And I'm Phil. Welcome to Terrifying and Twisted.
Hey up.
Bonjour.
Welcome back.
What episode is it?
5.
Episode 5.
It's all just like merging.
Yeah.
Rolling into one.
Hope everyone's alright. It's glorious in the UK.
Glorious until it's bedtime.
Yeah.
And then
it's fucking terrible.
No one can sleep. Full of our money.
Thank God we've got a fan, because we haven't got AC.
Oh, I'd love an AC unit. How's everyone been anyway? What have we been up to, Mr. Rock?
God. What have we been up to?
Mind gone blank. Apart from having an absolute nightmare with DVLA.
Oh, yeah. My driving licence. DVLA?
Fuck yourself.
Yeah.
But yeah, apart from that, kids have just finished for summer.
We went to Seaside for a beach tournament with Travis.
Oh, yeah, we did. We played in beach tournament, which were a really good day.
Yeah.
Really enjoyed it.
They got to the semi-finals.
Yeah, really enjoyed it, though. We said on way there, I don't know how it's going to be set up and how they're going to run it, but it was done really well, wasn't it?
Yeah. They got knocked out by lads who won.
They were amazing, though, weren't they?
Yeah. And it looks really hard to play on sand.
My calves were killing from just walking up and down.
Yeah.
Let alone trying to kick a ball and score a goal.
Yeah. Just been watching more World Cup.
Yeah, we have.
Obviously, England got through. We'll have to see how they do against Argentina.
We've also watched some documentaries.
Yep.
I'll tell you what I am missing. A decent court trial.
I ain't got time for that.
No, to be fair, we aren't. But we managed for Johnny Depp.
Yeah, you have to sacrifice a lot of time for a court trial, I think.
I managed to do that for Johnny Depp trial, though. Every day. Picked them kids up.
Yeah, you and that fucking Dobson.
We were obsessed. From 3 p.m, literally, that were it.
That's what we've been watching, Mrs. Ott.
Oh, we watched a new documentary which you found had been recommended on some true crime page. It was called Murder 101. Is that right?
It's either Murder 101 or Crime 101.
No, it was Murder 101.
Right.
And being honest...
We found it on Amazon Prime.
We both were looking forward to it because it were a case that we'd never heard of.
Yeah.
The Redhead murders.
Yeah. In Tennessee.
In Tennessee. Neither of us had ever heard of it. So we were like, oh. But I think we were both a little bit disappointed, weren't we?
Yeah, it's about a teacher called Mr. Campbell, I think it was, and he holds a sociology class.
Yep.
And for the last 7 years, he's been sort of working this case with his students.
Yeah. And they've been trying to solve this case.
It's a 3-part docuseries. It's worth a watch, like it's interesting and that, but it don't really give you nitty gritty. It didn't tickle my pickle.
You said it could have been done in probably 1 episode, didn't you, instead of 3?
Yeah.
I found that one particular girl really bizarre, and I don't know what age they are. The seniors, aren't they, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not sure what age that is in America.
I think they said they were 15, because she was saying that one of victims were like same age
Oh,
as her.
yes, yeah. Well, I found it so bizarre, her deep connection to one of the victims, and I get when you work in a case and you want to give it your everything, but like she had her picture in a bedroom in a frame, and I found that weird.
But we don't judge.
We listen and we don't judge.
We also watched, for people in UK, we watched crime drama on ITV called The Dark.
Yes, we did.
And that's about a series of murders of young lads in the Scottish Highlands. Murder.
We enjoyed it.
Yeah, worth a watch.
Good. Although you do what you do, without spoiling it for anyone in case you want to watch it, think it was first or second episode you went, that's who's done it.
Well, you've got to have a guess, don't you? Otherwise you're not a true crime fan.
It's not Cluedo, bro.
Yeah. But we all watched fucking docuseries where we're like, he's very dodgy.
Oh, I tell you what else we have watched.
But we don't judge.
Tell you what else we have watched. The new Return to Fox Hollow.
Yeah. If you haven't watched the first Return to Fox Hollow, I'm jealous because now you get to watch the 4 episodes in a row. We got that on Hulu, which you can get on Disney. But if you've got a Fire Stick, you'll be able to get it on a Fire Stick.
We watched the first one, was it probably about a year ago?
A few years ago.
It come out.
Yeah.
And my God, that man.
Let's just say, my God, that man. If you haven't watched it, watch it.
Yeah.
Because it's creepy as shit.
And then we watched the follow-up, which was what we watched.
The one that's just recently come out.
Yeah, Return to Fox Hollow.
So there's 3 episodes that first came out, and then they've just released 1 more episode, which was like disappointing.
It would have been nice to have them all together, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
But anyway, anything else to report?
Any feedback from episodes?
We've had some good feedback, and we've had some people that don't quite enjoy us, but that's fine. It is what it is. I'll never understand why people take the time out of their day to write a shitty comment when you could just scroll.
You say some people. One person.
All right, one person, but still, why go to effort of writing a comment? Like, if we're not for you, we're not for you.
And this was on my episode, by the way. So, for Autumn 7366, this is boring as shit. Y'all spent 8 minutes in capital letters trying to say fetishes. I still can't fucking say it. Trying to say fetishes. Right. So there's a few things that's wrong with this. First of all, let's dissect. This is boring as shit. Now, Autumn, I'm doing a podcast about true crime and murder and stuff like that. Would you like me to juggle pineapples while I'm doing it? Would you like me to stand on my head while I'm doing it? I don't understand what you want me to do, which will not make it as boring. But we move. Now the next bit is, y'all spend 8 minutes in capital letters. So you're pretty convinced that it's 8 minutes. Now I know for a fact it wasn't fucking 8 minutes. And that shit pisses me off. Because I can take constructive feedback or constructive criticism. I can take it if it's right.
Factual.
So if you'd have wrote, you can't pronounce for shit, I'd have took that. If you'd have put, you spent 2 minutes trying to say fetishes, I'd have took that. But the fact that you put, y'all spent 8 minutes in capital fucking letters is a liberty.
Liberty. Don't do it again.
So,
I just responded saying, have a good day. Like,
I wouldn't have fucking responded that. So Autumn 7366, take your face for a shit.
well, that's a bit personal, calling that shit out.
But if it's correct, I'd have took it. If it had said you can't pronounce for shit, I'd have been like, yeah, have a nice day. But make sure it's fucking factual.
We knew for a fact it wasn't 8 minutes, and the fact that you went then back on and listened to it, and it were like 2 minutes, if that.
Or at least near factual. Like 8 minutes. If it's...
That's a long time out of a 30-minute episode.
If you'd have said, oh, fucking 3 minutes, I won't have said it. Oh, whoa, hang on a bit. But you said 8 minutes. No.
Proper pissed you off, that, didn't it?
Very passionate.
But other than that one feedback, I do think everyone else has sort of been quite nice, and we've had people message us.
My favourite message was from my friend Billy, and he said that, well, it's been nice weather. He had his windows down, and he was just listening to about someone's head in a bucket, pulled up at traffic lights.
Stopped.
Full blast.
Nice. But yeah, the majority has been really nice, as always.
So thank you.
Anything else before we jump into your case?
No, I'm ready.
Are you ready to roll?
No, I've had my rant.
That was a rant. So this week it's back to you, and once again I know absolutely nothing.
She knows nothing. So before I start this case, I'll do a trigger warning. This episode contains discussion of murder, graphic violence, mutilation, and the killing of animals. Some descriptions may be distressing or upsetting to listeners. Listener discretion is strongly advised. We start with Holly Bramley. Holly Bramley was born in 1996 to her mother Annette, and she was one of 3 triplets alongside her 2 brothers and another sibling. She grew up in the quiet market town of Holbeach in Lincolnshire, England, which is just over an hour and a half away from me and Carla. In fact, I did a delivery not far away from this town a few weeks back.
Is it a nice little town?
Yeah. During her childhood, she went to William Stukeley Primary School and George Farmer Secondary School. She was part of a large and close-knit household where family bonds were strong. Holly loved singing, dancing, and animals. She had a lifelong affection for animals and later on worked at a centre for people with autism, Asperger's, and other disabilities. So she was obviously a caring person.
Very caring person.
Holly met Nicholas Metzen while they were both studying in Lincoln. He was born in either 95 or 96. When I tried finding this out, where he was born, it said, official UK court and police records do not publicly disclose it.
So it's sealed.
I've no idea why. But as usual, like I've said before, who fucking cares when they were born?
Yep.
He and Holly met at Boston College, which is based in Lincolnshire, in 2016. They then started a relationship from that October 2016. 2 years later, they got engaged, and in the end of 2021, they got married. I've seen some of the pictures. They look like a nice, happy couple. For many couples, marriage marks the beginning of a new chapter. For Holly, this will become the beginning of a nightmare. One of the most common features of domestic abuse is isolation. Victims often get separated from loved ones, friends, and families. Relationships and friendships get strained, and communication gets less and less frequent. The abuser becomes and makes themselves the centre of that person's life. Abusive relationships don't always start out with violence. They start with control. Control over money, over communication, over how they dress, over who they see, how they live, how they think.
Yep. Starts slow, doesn't it?
Over time, it becomes normal life. And Nicholas Metzen was a control freak, amongst other things.
And you know, she probably didn't see his true self until after they're married either.
You would think so, wouldn't you? Mask it.
Yeah.
Friends and family later described concerns about their relationship. They could see the gradual change, but on the outside everything looked good. Photographs looked happy, social media looks happy, but behind closed doors, as we all know, it's different. The marriage was struggling and tensions were growing. Long before Holly's name appeared in newspaper headlines, there were red flags. One of these had been reports of Nicholas Metzen being abusive to animals, which obviously from what I've told you, Holly loves animals. They're the centre of her world. And Nicholas Metzen knows this. He uses this as leverage against Holly whenever she tried to stand up to him or leave him.
That's just cruel, it?
Control freak.
Proper cruelty.
These animals became weapons. He uses them as a message and a warning to Holly. Look what I can do to you. He's a master manipulator.
The thing is as well, sorry to interject, but knowing just how much animals mean to her and using that as a way to hurt her without physically hurting her, that is narcissistic. I can't even say a word. That is on another level, isn't it, of manipulation.
So Metzen goes on to murder Holly's pets. One of the times he puts her small puppy in the washing machine to kill it. And then he leaves its lifeless body in the drum for Holly to find. Also, he murders her pet hamsters, using a food blender on one.
Fuck off.
And a microwave oven for the next one.
But we've just started this story.
Sorry.
That is vile.
And amongst reports, she'd once ran to a police station away from him with her pet rabbits to escape him. So that's a bit of insight.
I'm shocked that someone would be that cruel.
First thing that popped into my head when I read this is, I don't know if this is weird or not. What dog were it? What species of dog were it? I don't know why.
Because we have 2 dogs.
Yeah, I'm definitely a dog person.
You're a dog person, so your first automatic response would have been, oh, what kind of dog were it? Poor dog. But I can't believe that we've just started this story and already he's put an hamster in blender in an hamster in microwave.
Yeah.
And killed a puppy. I dread to think where else this is going.
So, March 17th, 2023. The date that would change Holly's family's life forever. Inside the flat they shared inside Shuttleworth House, an argument is believed to have occurred. Exactly what unfolded or what was said, only one person knows. Investigators would later conclude that night Holly was murdered in that flat. At 26 years old, her life ended violently. The woman who had spent years building friendships, caring for animals, and planning her future was gone. So 17th of March 2023 is the last time Holly was seen alive. She was captured on CCTV entering the flats with a bag of fish and chips for her and her husband. So while we know that Holly is not alive, from the outside, it didn't look like that. Messages were sent, accounts remained active. People were led to believe Holly was okay. For days, that false reality was painted by Metzen. For Holly Bramley's family, something just didn't feel right. Days had passed and not seeing Holly wasn't normal, as she was really close to her family.
Yeah.
They contacted Lincolnshire police to report Holly missing. So naturally, the first person police went to speak to is her spouse, Nicholas Metzen. When police arrived at the flat they shared together, Metzen appeared calm. He told them that she had left days earlier with a mental health crisis team. Also mentioning the possibility of her having an affair. Is this plausible? Well, of course, yeah, it's plausible.
It is, but that's something that can be checked so easy with mental health team.
At least on the surface. But officers know that missing person investigations are built on verification, not assumption. They don't accept an explanation, they test it.
Yep.
Officers listened to Metzen patiently, but their suspicion was aroused with the smell of chlorine, the bleach, evidence of redecorating and cleaning. There were blood-stained sheets in the bathtub, large dark stains on the floor, in the bedroom, and apparently one of the investigators asked, "Are you sure Holly's not home?" To which Metzen replied and smirked, "I'm 100% sure, but if you don't believe me, check if she's under bed."
Fuck's sake.
When they asked him about the bloodstains, he explained it away by saying that sometimes Holly was violent towards him, and she's a silent abuser, so nobody knows.
Of course.
He shows the police a bite mark on his forearm to prove his point. Now, from what I found out, this bite mark was here.
Right, so
On his arm, which...
if you've got your arm round somebody...
Correct, Carla. 10 points.
So smart.
Needless to say, the policemen weren't convinced, and they left that flat with more questions than answers. Detectives contacted local mental health teams. No records have Holly been collected. Police carried on digging into local CCTV and Holly's digital footprint. We fast forward to March 25th. A member of the public made a grim discovery near the River Witham. He thought it was a bag of rubbish in the river, and as he grabbed it to put it in the bin, he saw a human hand that appeared to have no fingers.
Oh my God.
Police and divers were called, and they collected multiple bags from that river.
Poor man. I couldn't ever imagine just being out on us like, let's go for a family walk, and coming across something so horrific.
Side note, when I was window cleaning, and I was window cleaning in York, we looked off at one at Bridges, and I know this might be a little bit funny, and that's not. But at first glimpse, it did look like someone's naked body in the river, and it were a fucking blow-up sex doll.
Yeah, it was. I remember you sending me a picture of it.
Yeah. So back to this. Police managed to recover 224 body parts.
Fucking hell, he's done a massive number, hasn't he?
Some were not found, including her heart and her lungs. Pathologists spent 13 hours trying to reconstruct her body. At first, investigators couldn't ID the remains, but eventually the truth became clear. The missing person inquiry had become a murder. The investigation accelerated and search warrants were executed. Devices were seized, CCTV checked, and internet searches uncovered. Investigators reconstructed the following sequence of events based off what they had found. Around 9 p.m. around the 19th of March, Holly and Metzen likely had an argument which ended with him stabbing her 4 times in the chest. They'd obviously had an argument, they got in a fight. She tried to defend herself, and he'd stabbed her in the chest 4 times. He then dragged her body into the bathtub, where he dismembered her body into 224 pieces.
Wow.
He kept her body parts in the flat while he devised a plan to get rid of her body. Early in the morning on the 25th of March, so the early morning before this gentleman found the bags.
Yeah.
Investigators get Metzen on CCTV using a shopping trolley, moving multiple bags in a rucksack from the 14th floor up and down in the lift. So I wonder what he's doing right there.
I wonder.
Placed in his car and drove away. They searched his phone and his laptop history. Some of his searches, how to get rid of a body.
Right, I know this is like, I don't want to take away from this, but I'll never understand why someone would be so stupid. If you've committed...
Wait till you hear his next search.
Go on, continue.
What benefits can I get if my wife dies?
Fuck off. Why would anyone be so stupid? Anyone knows that it's usually the spouse that is the first suspect in any situation where somebody goes missing, whether that be a husband or wife. Your phone...
He obviously thought he were going to get away with it.
Well, he obviously was that... What word am I looking for?
Deluded? Delulu?
Yeah, I just... Same as we watched last night. Phone pinging. Like, why would you take your phone with you to commit a crime? Is that not Rule 101?
Not that we're giving any tips to people committing crimes. Do you want to hear his next search?
Yes, I do.
Can someone haunt me after they die?
Yes. Yes, they fucking can. And let me tell you something. She will haunt your ass forever.
Another person linked into this story is 28-year-old Joshua Hancock. So in the early hours of the 25th of March, Metzen messages his friend and offers him £50 to help him move bags from the flat.
50 quid.
Joshua Hancock later admitting he knew what were in the bags.
And he still helped anyway.
But 50 quid is 50 quid.
2 bags for 50.
Side note, Joshua Hancock is the type of person that I think has been charged with sexual communication with a child.
Right. Okay.
So later admitting he knew, but still agreed to help transport Holly's body. More than 11 months after Holly Bramley was murdered, the case finally arrived at Lincoln Crown Court. For Holly's family, this just wasn't another day in court. It was the first time they would hear, in full, what prosecutors believed had happened inside the flat where Holly had spent her final moments.
That must be horrific.
It was also the first time Nicholas Metzen would have to face justice, but even then, there was one final twist. When Metzen was first charged, he pleaded not guilty to Holly's murder. For months, prosecutors prepared for a full murder trial, gathering forensic evidence, CCTV footage, digital records, and witness testimony. Holly's family were preparing themselves to sit through weeks of evidence and hear every painful detail contested in court. Then, in February 2025, everything changed. When Metzen appeared before the court, he unexpectedly changed his plea. He admitted murdering Holly. There would be no trial to decide whether he had killed her.
And no one would ever have to listen to the details of what they really thought had happened.
Instead, the court would hold a sentencing hearing to establish exactly what he had done and what punishment he should receive. Although there would be no jury trial, the sentencing hearing was still deeply emotional. The prosecution carefully reconstructed Holly's final days. Perhaps the most powerful moments of the hearing came not from the lawyers or police officers, but from Holly's family. Her mother Annette addressed the court directly. She described the overwhelming grief that had consumed the family. She said Metzen had condemned them to what felt like a life sentence of sorrow. She spoke of Holly not as a victim in a criminal case, but as a daughter who had been loved beyond words, a young woman whose future had been stolen. These statements reminded everyone in the courtroom that this case was never simply about evidence. It was about a life that should have been lived. Judge Simon Hurst then delivered his sentencing remarks. He described Holly as a much-loved young woman, noting the profound loss suffered by her family and friends. He also praised the painstaking work of Lincolnshire Police, whose investigation had pieced together the truth despite Metzen's attempts to conceal it. The judge sentenced Nicholas Metzen to life imprisonment, ordering that he serve a minimum of 19 years and 316 days before he can even be considered for parole. That minimum term does not mean he will be released at that point. It means only then he may apply to the parole board, which will release him only if it concludes he no longer poses a risk to the public.
Yeah.
Joshua Hancock was sentenced to 3 years and 3 months in prison for assisting an offender by helping dispose of Holly's remains. As the court emptied, Holly's family spoke to the media. It was a relief that justice had been done, but there was no sense of celebration. No prison sentence could restore the years Holly had lost. No judgment could erase the trauma her family had endured. Instead, they made a promise. They would ensure Holly's name would not be remembered only because of how she died. They would fight for a change. Since the sentencing, Holly's family have campaigned for what has become known as Holly's Law, calling for greater recognition of animal cruelty as a warning sign in abusive relationships and stronger action to protect victims before violence escalates. The hope is that Holly's story may help prevent future tragedies.
Absolutely. We've seen it many a times where people start with abusing animals, harming animals.
Well, it's part of the MacDonald triad, which is obviously abusing animals, wet in the bed, setting fires. True crime often focuses on killers, their motives, their actions, their psychology. But Holly Bramley's story isn't really about Nicholas Metzen. It's about Holly, a young woman who should have had decades ahead of her, a daughter who never got the chance to grow old, a friend whose absence it still felt every day, a life that now serves as a warning about coercive control, domestic abuse, and the danger of ignoring early signs. Because long before the headlines, long before the police investigation, and long before the courtroom, there were warning signs. The tragedy is that by the time the world noticed them, it was already too late.
That's one of the saddest things about any true crime cases we cover, the amount of warning signs or missed opportunities.
That is the case of Holly Bramley.
Rest in peace, Holly. Rot in hell.
May he rest in shit.
Absolutely. One thing that stood out massively to me as you were coming to the end of the court, I knew you were going to say he changed his plea because he obviously, which you mentioned, was a control freak. And by him being able to still control the narrative right up until the very end, he knew that that was in his control. He could turn around and say, oh, actually, I'm going to plead guilty because you don't deserve to hear the details of what the prosecutors think happened.
Yeah.
Took that away from that family. It must be horrific to have to sit through a trial like that when it's somebody that you love dearly. But sometimes I think it's needed for the closure.
I think everyone would be different, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
Some people would need or want it, and some people won't.
Yeah. But he just took that away because...
All I could think about is how much she loved animals, which a lot of people do, and how she must have felt in the moments of what he was doing to her pets.
Yeah. And it was used as a way to hurt her.
Yeah. I do believe it was a case of, look what I can do to this dog. Imagine what I could do to you.
Yeah. Yeah. And the worst part, she genuinely sounds like she was a really caring person. There's not many people that get up and go to work every day to work with people with autism.
Yeah, I do believe you need to be
a special kind of person to do that.
Same as a nurse.
Yeah, that poor girl, young woman.
Well, this is the part where I usually say, well, I hope you enjoyed that. But in a way, you're not supposed to enjoy it.
No, you're not supposed to enjoy it.
But I hope it was an interesting one for you.
I'm just still shook at how many parts he dismembered her into.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
So before we go, on YouTube, I think as episodes I've got about 100 views on each, which I think is alright.
Yeah, we've literally only just started, haven't we? And we know that it's going to take time.
Been going a month.
Yeah, consistency is key.
But please, if you watch us on YouTube, write a little comment, give us a like. If you eat Autumn 7366, go fuck yourself.
It just helps push us out, doesn't it?
Yeah. But whatever social media you're on, please give us a like, please subscribe, and help us lift it off the ground.
To try and grow. We appreciate you all, and we will be back for episode 6.
Love you.
Bye.